Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this particular video, we will be going to implement Agentic RAG using LangGraph. So before diving into the code, let me explain you the graph flow, then we will dive into the code. So in our case, we have four important nodes. So let me first write all the node names. The first one is our agent node. Then we have our retrieve node. Then the third one is generate node, and the fourth one is rewrite node. Now let's understand how this node flows. Okay, so as we know, our flow starts at starting point. Now any user query will come, it will go to our agent. Okay, so here the agent node is used for deciding whether to use RAG or whether to end up based on the user query. Okay, so if suppose the input is not relevant to our RAG, now you might ask, we haven't had any RAG tool here. So here is the main thing comes into picture. So before going to this retrieve, right, we will have our tools section. Okay, so we will be having our tool section where we will implement our RAG. Okay, so whenever the input will come, okay, just for example, we say hi. Okay, so it will go to agent. Now agent will decide whether to go and end up here or go to your retrieve thing. So it will check whether that we can use the tools for this hi. As this is the basic thing, it will directly go. What if we ask, let's suppose, what are agents? Okay, just for example, I'm asking one question, and let's assume that we train our data with agents only. Okay, we create our RAG using agents only. Now when this query comes to your agent node, okay, now as we know that our RAG is related to agents, now what will happen, instead of going ending up here, it will go and use the tool and go to your retrieve part. Now the role of retrieve node here is to see whether the relevant document is retrieved from the vector DB for the question what user asked. If that is relevant, it will be go to your generate node. So basically this is used for check whether the valid relevant data is retrieved for answering the user query. If yes, it will go. If yes, it will go to the generate section, and generate will be going to answer the final result. Okay, answer the final result using that relevant document and this particular prompt whichever written in this particular generate node. What if the question which users ask is not related to the, or you can say the relevant document is retrieved, but it is not suitable to answer the user query. In that particular case, the flow will be like this. It will start, agents feels that the question which is asked, it might be related or it is present in the RAG. Okay, it will go again in the retrieve part, but retrieve particular node thinks that the document which is retrieved, it is not relevant, or you can say not that much sufficient to answer the user query. In that case, it will go to your rewrite section. So this rewrite section, what it will do, it will modify the user query. It will modify the user query and return back that particular input to your agent. Then again, agent will have a new input. So using that new input, it will see whether this tool will be able to fetch some result or not. If yes, this flow again works and finally generate the answer. If not, it will be going to end up here. So this is the whole flow which we will be going to implement it and do it using Python. Okay, so let's get started with our coding. So as we know, we are going to use PyCharm for it. So let me go to my PyCharm. So these all are the imports which you have to do. Okay. So a little brief about this fast API. We will be going to build an API. Okay. Uh, and these all particular libraries which you are able to see here. These all are important for creating your graph. Okay, creating your graph, and these all things are related to LangGraph only. Then the important imports which you need to understand here is this. Okay, so basically these all imports which you are able to see, this is for creating our RAG application. Okay, so if you don't know about RAG application, you can check out my this video to know what is RAG. Okay, but let's focus and get back to our code now. Now, after all the imports are done, okay, we will use the load.env, which is basically loading our environment variable. Okay, as you know, we will be making use of chat group for our LLM. Okay, you can use any other thing like chat GPT or Gemini as per your requirement. Now, let me create the fast API setup. Okay, so the first thing is nothing but let's create the object of our fast API, then add the middleware, of course, a middleware to work our front end smoothly. After that particular thing, let's load the LLM and our embeddings. Okay, here I'm using Gamma 2 9 billion model using chat groups and using Hugging Face embedding for our for doing our embeddings. Okay, so once our LLM and embeddings are stored, the next thing is our tag implementation. Okay, so here in our case I am using the URL. Okay, so from this is one of my blog which is related to AI agents. Okay, which I have written in the Medium. So I am loading that using the web-based loader and convert it into a raw content and storing it into the cache blog.txt. This why I am doing this is nothing but again and again I don't want to repeat the process. Okay, so that's the reason I am saving it in this particular text file. Now, if you know when after this particular raw content is with us, the next step is to split the data. Okay, so we will use this recursive character text splitter. Okay, this will do do the chunking of 100 and overlap it by 25. Once that particular thing is done, we will split our document. Now, first, the next thing is to do the embedding. So we will store our embeddings into the PAS. Okay, we will be storing our embeddings into the PAS vector database. And finally, we will create our retriever. Okay, we will create our retriever from where we will get the relevant document. Now, let's create that particular retriever into a tool. Okay, and we particularly here you can write simply this is related to AI agents blog. Okay, so you can write anything. Basically, this particular is nothing but your description, which will tell your LLM or you can say the agent what this particular tool do. Okay, once this retrieve tool is done, we will store it into a variable. Later, we can bind this tool with our agent. Till here, our RAG application is created. Now, let's start with our graph flow. Okay, let's start with our graph flow. So basically, we will be building this kind of graph. So as I told you, first we will create our agent node. Let me go to my code. Okay, so let's first define the agent state. So basically, this is our agent state, and this is my router, that is messages. So it will store the list of messages. Okay, the next thing is the grade output. So grade output is nothing but your retriever agent. Okay, so it will tell whether our input relevant document is suitable or not. Okay, I will show you in code what it will do. Okay, now once that particular thing, let's one by one see the different nodes. Okay, the first node is nothing but our retrieve node. Okay, so basically here we are using one model, the same thing. Then we have our messages, context, questions and context, and the prompt. Okay, if you see here in this particular prompt, we are checking whether the document is relevant or not. So basically this particular grid document function is nothing but your retriever node, which will help us to tell whether the document retrieved is relevant or not. So we are printing those things to know in our terminal whether that is relevant or not. Now the next node what we have is nothing but an agent node. As I told you, the agent node is nothing but it will be going to decide what it has to do. Okay, so at the first time what we will do, we will bind the tool. Okay, bind the tool. So this particular step is important here. So basically what we are doing in our LLM, we are binding our tools. Okay, binding our tools. If you remember here in the tools, we are having our retriever. Now this agent is having the details of this retrieval tool. Okay, now the agent is capable of getting the RAG access. Okay, now we are invoking it. Invoking is nothing, whatever input will come, it will be going to check whether that particular input has to be answered with the help of LLM or with the help of the tool. Okay, so here we are adding the prompt also. These all things you can change according to you. So this is the node, agent node. Once that thing is done, we have a rewrite node. As I told you, rewrite node is nothing but to improve the user quotient. Okay, so this is for that particular thing. After that, we have a generate code. The generate code is nothing but whatever relevant data we are getting, that particular relevant context we will be going to give along with the quotient to generate the final answer. Okay, so this is all about that particular 4 nodes. Now, let's see the graph. Okay, so as I told you here, we will have, as I told you, we will have 4 nodes. So we are creating that 4 node, agent node. So this is our tool node. Okay, this tool node. Then we have our rewrite node. Then we have our generate node. Okay, so this will look like this agent node. Then in between we have tools. Okay, then we have retrieve is also there. Okay, if you say graded document, okay, it will be in conditional edges. Why that also I will tell you. Okay, don't worry. So we have retrieve node, then we have generate and rewrite. Okay, so these are the tools what we have. After that we are starting. Okay, so what happening here is nothing but, let me change the color. So we are starting here, start node, going to agent. Now agent to tool condition. Okay, if you see agent to tool condition. Okay, now if you see agent at 2 things, it will either go to the tool condition or it will end. Here we have end condition also. As I explained, if no relevant data found, it will directly end, or else it will go below to this. Then after that we have retrieve. Okay, now if you go here, this flow is like this. We have retrieve. So as I told, retrieve had 2 things. Okay, retrieve have 2 things. So this kind of point where we have 2 decisions, that would be under your conditional edge. Okay, that will be under your conditional edge. So here also, if you see 2 points are there, this point, this point. That's why this conditional edge came. Okay, now if you say retriever is under graded component, it will either go and end up here. So relevant data, if it will go here. If no, it will go to rewrite and again rewrite to agent, it will go back. Okay, so if you see, this is our flow. Okay, if you want to see the whole flow in the form of image, it will look like this: agent, tools, retrieve, generate, rewrite, and then start. Okay, this is what I have showed you. So this is our flow. Okay, once that particular thing is done, what we are doing, we are compiling, then we are saving our result. Okay, saving our result. Now the final thing is to create our API. Okay, so here what we are doing is nothing but whatever input we are getting, we are sending it to our graph, and finally we are showing it. Okay, so let me run and show you the result. So let me open my terminal. I have already activated my environment, so I just simply needs to run this code. So our file name is app.py. So app reload, and I will be going to run it into the specific port 9000. Okay, so it will take some time based upon the setups what we have done. So once this particular thing is application is started, it will be going to be running this link. Now if we go in this link, also this is our UI. Okay, so little bit our agentic RAG and frameworks what we have used. So let's get started and see how it works. Okay, so first thing, let's start with asking what are agents. Okay, so in this question, we know that we have the RAG having the agents document, and it will be directly going to be answering our result. Okay, now if I show you in the terminal how it flowed. Okay, so first it started, went to agent node. As you see, we are able to get the retrieve node. Now in the retriever, we have the relevant document. So the relevant document we found. And so as we get the relevant document, it will be directly go to our generate. Okay, and finally ended up here. Okay, so how the flow went up here is nothing but, so basically the query what we have. So it started here. Then as this is our RAG. So as per our question, we are able to get the relevant data. As we are able to get the relevant data, it went here and finally generate the result. Okay, so this is the flow what we are able to achieve with this question. Fine. Now let me show you one more example. Let me ask who, what is, or let me ask who is Modi. Okay, I'm not at all asking any question related to our you can say RAG. Okay, so in this case, what happened? It will not retrieve anything. Okay, let me show you the flow. So if you see, it started, went for agent. Now, as know that RAG doesn't have anything related to that particular thing, so it went directly to this particular flow. Okay, this particular flow, it went. Now let me ask something related to agents. Okay, what are, let's suppose, deep learning. Okay, so let's see. Actually, the flow sometimes it might not go to the tool. Okay, so there is high chance that it might go. So we have some answer. Let's see the flow now. Okay, we are able to get that particular flow what I wanted to. Okay, show you. So let me explain this to you. So if you see here, it started and went to your, it started and went to your agent node, then retrieve node. So basically it went here, it uses, but if you notice here it failed. Okay, no relevant data found. So instead of going here, it went here. Okay, so it will go to a rewrite. Now after rewrite, it will go to this part. So in this case, as I told, the query might be modified. And again, now if you see, instead of going here, it went it here and directly give the result. So this is what our flow look like. Okay. So if I go, so that's the reason we are getting this particular result like this. Okay. So this is all about our Agentic RAG application. I hope you understand the flow and everything. And if you want more such videos like this, kindly do subscribe to my channel and hit like if you like the video. And if any doubt, please try to comment it down. I will try to reach you out here